Success isn't a map you can follow.
It starts with a spark of curiosity for the unknown, dedication for the unlearned,
and innovation to pave the way for the next generation of leaders. These are the makings of our entrepreneurs who are redefining this industry by bringing the real in real estate. Real people, real experiences,
real excellence.
Welcome to the Real Relentless Podcast by Century 21 Tri-Cities, a real estate brokerage in Eastern Washington. On this episode, we sit down with Yesenia Gomez, an agent with some serious goals that involve the Hispanic community she loves so dearly. Here, we'll discuss what it means to her to represent her community that is still learning to develop their own voice.
Hi, my name is Yesenia Gomez, and I'm with Century 21 Tri-Cities.
What did you do before you got into real estate?
So since when I was in high school, I would work for an attorney's office. I kind of went back to that since I had that some of experience. So for a year, a little bit over a year, I worked at a law firm over in the North Seattle area. It was a criminal defense and personal injury job. But I didn't want to be there forever, and I wanted to do something that I was able to control my time with and my income. So that's why I thought of going into real estate.
What were some of your goals when you first started?
Well, definitely start the career, which I had a little bump in the road because when I had just gotten licensed, I found out I was pregnant, and my pregnancy was very rough at the beginning. I literally would puke every single day, like all day. It was like the worst. I thought it would never end. Every time I would see someone pregnant, I would ask them, like, how long did your morning sickness last? Some would tell me the whole 9 months. Others would say, I never got it. And I was like, well, good for you. But then I took that time off. Then the pandemic hit. And then once I came back recently, just a few months back, I really want to be able to focus on helping the Spanish-speaking community, which most of them are Hispanics here in the area. Growing up with Hispanic parents that I would be the translator for made me want to be able to help those people that don't have that son or that daughter, or maybe if they do, they're not as helpful, and I want to be able to be that resource for them. As well as, being able to be in control of my time and the income that I'm able to produce now that I'm a mom. I enjoy being with my baby, but at the same time, I am a very active person and I like to be busy. So that's why I chose to, do that work and then mom balance.
What does it mean to you when we talk about community?
Like I mentioned, I want to be that support and that resource to people to be able to see my genuine help, not like just for interest, like, okay, this is my work, I'm going to get a commission out of this, or like, I've always been the type of person that likes to go above and beyond with any type of help. For example, like when I would work at the law firm, I was also the only Spanish speaker there. And all of the Spanish-speaking clients would come to me, and they would come to me in the hope of me helping them, even though they would ask for things that were not on my job description, which a lot of the times, a lot of us, we limit ourselves to not be that resource to other people just because this is just what I'm doing for the job, and if you want this extra help, go ask so-and-so and so. So I want to be able to be that person that they feel comfortable with coming to, and just make a difference in those people's lives. I've always been a big-hearted person, I believe. Growing up, I would always do like community service things, and I was involved in the church that I would go to. My parents would always tell me, like, you're never home. But I would always say, well, at least I'm not doing bad things. I'm literally like helping the community and like trying to make a difference. But I mean, as you grow older, you get responsibilities and you don't always have that time. So through real estate and through touching people's lives in that matter, that's what I want to do.
How does it make you feel being a prominent Hispanic figure or role model?
It makes me feel like, well, now that I'm a mom, sorry, I get really emotional with like certain topics. So if I tear up a little bit, I apologize. No, now that I'm a mom and that I see like all of these other hardworking women, especially being a different race here in the United States, it makes me feel like I have control of changing that for my future kids, which my parents worked very hard for that, like let alone. But I want to be able to give back to them and to our culture by me working that extra mile and showing people that even with certain circumstances, you're able to do a lot more, because a lot of us, myself included, we put limits to whatever we are able to handle or do just because we stumble upon a certain situation or life event that may be bad for a lot of us, but there's always that extra strength that we have in us that will allow us to keep going.
Have you ever been in a situation where people put barriers on you?
Yes, especially being a woman. And a lot of the times in our Hispanic community, it's seen, and even in other communities, it's seen, like if you're a woman, if you're a mom, I'm not shaming or anything on like stay-at-home moms, which they are totally fine doing. But if you don't want to, you should have the option to. And in our Hispanic community, I see a lot of husbands wanting to, I guess, in other words, like suppress the woman or say that they're less just because they're not working in a way, which that's a whole nother topic because we work a lot no matter what. But it's all about being equal, with your partner. And in reality, yeah, with anything, especially when you, well, yeah, pretty much with anything, people just see I guess sometimes the end result, or they just see that one first like cover, but they don't see like all of the work that has been done or all of the things that the person has gone through. And we never know what people are actually going through in the moment, even though, like you mentioned, they look put together, but they may not be inside. But that's where that extra strength comes in. Like they're pushing through to be able to, not stay down. Yeah.
Starting real estate with a newborn, how did you strike a balance?
I'm not gonna lie, I struggled a little bit. Obviously being a new mom comes with a lot of emotions, which I'm getting right now. So sometimes I honestly feel like I just want to, stay home, cuddle with my baby all day, every day, like see him giggle and whatnot. And but then on the other hand, like the person that I am personally, like, I like to be busy. I like to do other things, help be a part of, a change in the community. So finding, especially like that schedule, being comfortable with knowing that he's away from me and he's taken great care of. I've been very fortunate that his grandma, my mother-in-law, has been taking care of him because she has a daycare. So that is like the least of my worries, that he's not in a good position or in a good place. It's just the being, away from him a little bit, that kind of kills me. But you have to have a balance for everything. It's been challenging, especially because, not everyone knows, but my husband works out of town. So 4 days out of the week, he's not here in town. So I kind of had to find that balance of me taking care of my baby and like finding, like if I have to go do a showing like randomly, I can either like not do it because I'm with my baby and I don't have my husband to be there like, hey, watch him, like randomly, and or I have to, schedule it like in advance or for another day when I know someone is going to be there. But over that, I've been very fortunate that I have family around here that they've stepped up and they've offered a lot of help. So yeah.
Well, it's difficult because women are expected to return to the workforce after 3 months and be 100% on their A game. And it's hard because your mind is on your baby.
No, yeah, definitely. There's like this huge expectation of like, okay, you're supposed to have everything put together and like good to go and like leave your little one, like it's fine, which a lot of women are great at doing. Some aren't, some are in the middle. I don't remember how long ago, but I think in Australia they allow you to have a whole year of of leave. I'm like, why can't that be here? I mean, it's different.
What are some things about yourself that you've discovered over the past year?
Well, in reality, it's all a learning curve and a learning journey. No matter if you're in real estate or if you're doing any other type of job, like it's just you have to go through the things to be able to learn from it and get that experience. Sorry. One of the things that I would see but I didn't quite understand, my husband, he's had his own business, so he's like been running his own business since we got married, and I would notice him stressing out about over the clients and like calls, and like they wouldn't like call him between 8 and 5. It was like 8 p.m. super early, like those type of things. And I didn't understand that because I wasn't running my own business like now. And now like I get calls or emails or texts at random times of the day that are not even within that office time period. And I've learned to be able to work around that and work with those clients because I know how the market is right now, and I know that that's what it takes to be in this type of industry. But with that being said, I've also been trying to, like put limits or put boundaries between that, because I mean, you don't want that to be controlling your life, but then also you want to be a good customer service and you want to be there for that client. So I've learned how it is to run your own business, not only by helping my husband, but doing mine and being able to be there for my clients at whatever time they need me. I know. No, I got like a 1 a.m. text one time, which I didn't see until like 5 a.m. and I was like confused. But I mean, when it's that case, I don't answer at that time. Like I wait throughout the day. But
who are your role models that push you?
I would say, again, I would say my husband. He's very hardworking and sorry. Below at me. I'm gonna like open the window because it's so windy today. No, my husband, he's a very hardworking person, and I see the drive that he has to just like keep going. And then obviously like, well, that's outside of the real estate industry, but within the real estate industry, I mean, I see all of the other women agents here in the office, especially Vicky. Like I got to hear a little bit of her story at the beginning when I got licensed or signed up here, and it just amazes me how hardworking she is. And like those are the type of people that I dream of like surrounding myself with and like following, just because you see how genuine they are and how long or how far they've gotten in life, as an example. Yeah.
So why did you choose Century 21?
I chose Century 21 because that's where I did my classes through, which I took them over in Linwood, Washington, north of Seattle. That's where we used to live. And our original plan was to stay in that area, get licensed, start working there. I got signed up with a Century 21 North Homes Realty in Snohomish. but because of family events, circumstances that occurred last year, we decided to move over here closer to family, to the Tri-Cities. And that was a direct referral from that firm to this firm because I wanted to stay within Century 21. I just saw, nationwide they offer a bunch of things, but let alone the one here in Tri-Cities is amazing. So why not stick? Yeah.
Before you moved here, how long did you live on the west side?
2017 to 2009. So 2 years, 2 years and a half. Yeah. 2 years and a half. Once we got married, I got married in 2017. We moved over there because that was my husband's main source of like work. So we moved over there. I hopped from one job to another. The longest one being that firm that I was working at. And then when I got pregnant, we had a family situation, and then we moved over here barely last year. So we've been living here for a year in May. We turned a year in May.
I have to ask, do you find any similarities between this job and your last job?
I want to say there can be some similarities, but it's completely different. The similarities is that, you're still helping people and you're still like giving them a service of some sort. But the difference is like, obviously you're not involved in like crime scenes or police reports or like medical records, things of that sort. But as far as, providing the service to a customer or to a client, it's still the same thing. Yeah.
When we talk about community, what are some aspects that you like and dislike?
I'm going to use like a slang vibe, I guess, here from the people here to where I was living, which keep in mind, I grew up in Yakima, which is like in between both areas. Growing up in Yakima was completely different to the Seattle area to over here, which you would think because there's people of my same culture that it'd be kind of the same, but in reality it's not. I don't know like what it would consist of. Even the climate is different here to the west side. Like I wish it would be that type of warm here, not this type of hot. But one of the biggest highlights that I like or love from the Tri-Cities is that it's like ever growing. Like there's always some new development. Being pretty new to the area, like we would only come on the weekends and just to my mother-in-law's house, which that obviously didn't give me time to go explore all of the Tri-Cities, which is huge and is getting bigger. Every time like I drive by somewhere, there's like new development. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on, which I think that's amazing because it allows a lot more diversity of people to migrate over here to this area. And as you've been going with me to the neighborhood tours, seeing all of the new neighborhoods that I've been, I guess, educating myself on or studying has surprised me on how much new development there are and the different type of neighborhoods around this area, which has helped me a lot to get familiar with the whole Tri-Cities, which that's not even like a fourth of the fraction, but I really enjoy doing that because I like to know, obviously what I'm talking about and what I'm selling. Yeah.
What's something you wish you could see more of here?
That's actually a good question that I had never thought about. I think it has a little bit of everything. Like if you don't want to go out far away, you have it here. And going back to your last question, one of the things I like is that the community here focuses on a lot of small businesses and being that support to those small businesses rather. It's not bad to go support a big branch, but a lot of the time small businesses struggle to even grow because there's no support of the community. And I like how there's a lot of how social media is growing so much within the community, and that you're able to, you know, see, okay, this small business is going to do like a pop-up sale or something, and then everyone's gathered there, and it's like, you know, you just get to interact, which I love that we're starting to transition into that again now, since the pandemic is, you know, kind of like easing down a little bit. Yeah.
Can you discuss your new experiences with Gustavo and the DPTA?
Yeah. So I got to meet Gustavo Gomez. He is the organizer of this nonprofit organization. It's the Downtown Development Authority.
Yeah,
Downtown Pasco. Yes. Anyway, their main focus is to help small businesses, kind of like give them like a little push on growing. They offer free podcasts if they need to. They'll make you a free radio commercial so they can advertise you, and it's just a lot of help. And I believe they're the organizers of the Cinco de Mayo event every year, and then this other one. But I connected with him to be able to get more involved into the community, especially in the Hispanic community. I went over there, and yeah, on the spot, he's like, do you want to do a podcast with me? I was like, oh, sure. Like, caught me off guard, but it gave me the opportunity to not overthink it and not think about it and not like get nervous about doing it. And it turned out really well. I might do a segment with him to continue, which would be in Spanish with him. But we'll see. Yes.
So what are some of your goals you have in place for your community?
So for me, getting involved with my own culture and the Spanish-speaking community, again, is to be able to be that help for them. A lot of the times I've noticed that in our culture, we have the resources, and it's mostly like older people. They have the resources, you know, like younger people are more tech savvy, and they know like, oh, like get on this website, like click this link, look at this, you know, find this, like here's a Starbucks, it's in the corner. But a lot of the times there is that I guess it stops them from searching or knowing more of their resources, because one, they don't know the technology, or they struggle with, you know, like using their cell phone or the apps or whatever. And on top of that, it's not in the language that they know. So with that, me getting involved, I want them to be able to see a familiar face and see that I would be that help and that resource. And there's so many things and so many programs that a lot of the people don't know of, just because of lack of knowing the language, or lack of, you know, the not knowing that the resources are there for them. So by me getting involved, I would be that help for them and hope that they trust me enough, you know, well, not only to do their real estate transaction, but to know that I'm genuinely there to help them, and then understand what the process looks like, whether it's to buy a house or sell the house, and any additional things that they may ask. Because I've encountered clients that they've literally asked me for things that I don't do. I'm not supposed to be involved in, like, nothing bad or illegal or whatever, but it would be easier for me to just say, hey, go to this person, they'll help you. But I want to make sure they get the best service and the best outcome of our process. So I want to be there and be that translating help, I guess, in other words.
Yeah. Is that also the reason why you started like the neighborhood tours?
Yes, and I also really like how we're doing them in Spanish. That way they know. Obviously, someone that looks at the video, they're gonna say, oh yeah, look, the house looks pretty, but like, what did she say, you know? Or like, where's this at? Or like if they want more information, I want them to know that they can reach out to me because I'm bilingual. I consider myself to be pretty fluent, but I mean, there are some words that I have to look up to know properly how to translate them, but I'm that help right there.
It's important that they have access to someone who has their best interest in mind.
And I mean, it's not just a Walmart purchase of a t-shirt. It's a big purchase, and they need to be able to understand what they're signing, understand what's going to happen after, before and during that transaction. So it's not like we can just tell them, okay, you like that one, sign here, give me this money, So yeah, that's one of the main reasons. That way they can understand and know. And a lot of times they feel more comfortable speaking to someone that speaks their own language rather than either having a translator or having a relative that's most of the time not of age to translate, because that was my case growing up with my parents. I was this 9-10-year-old translating to my parents because I grew up in school knowing English and Spanish. So they're like, hey, tell this person this, and then they would tell me, okay, tell your mom this, and it'd be back and forth.
Right.
Yes. So I know how that goes.
Any other thoughts before we wrap up?
Well, no, just like I mentioned, I want to be able to be that help, and for people to be comfortable coming to me and knowing that I'm in the best interest of my client, always willing to help and be that good support in the real estate transaction and whatever, if it comes to be throughout the process. If you need help with anything else, I want to be that help as well. So, yes. Well, thank you so much for listening. Again, my name is Yesenia Gomez. I'm a realtor with Century 21 Tri-Cities y hablo español. Don't hesitate to contact me with any questions or concerns or petitions for any real estate transaction, whether it's to buy or sell. Contact information will be in the description.
That's the end of this episode. Thank you for listening to Real Relentless. We hope you tune in again next time.